Hello, everyone. Welcome in.
Hi, all. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday.
Woohoo.
All day yesterday, I thought yesterday was Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I feel like I was losing a day. But no, today is Wednesday. Today is kickoff day. Thea.
Today is, yes, 2025. We're going to be talking about how did we get there? Here.
Oh, we're finally getting to share because we've been planning since
Oh, since
March. I feel
long
like
time.
we've kind of known what the theme is going to be for over a year.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Nikita.
exciting.
Happy Wednesday to you, too. Got it going on.
Awesome. Well, welcome in, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started because we're so excited. Ignore our blurry backgrounds. We have some exciting new Zoom backgrounds to use once we share our webinar, or no, our share our Engineers Week theme, our Engineers Week and Girl Day theme. So, hello, everyone. Welcome in. This webinar is being recorded. We are going to be sharing this with you. In about a week, we'll send out the link. You can use the question and answer box to ask any questions as we go along, and we will have a Q&A period at the very end. And my name is Sarah. Hello, everyone. You may have recognized me. Yes, the recording absolutely will be available afterwards. My name is Sarah. You may recognize me. I've done a few of these, a couple of these now with Thea, these kickoff webinars. And if you come to the January webinar, I was part of that too. I've been here at Discovery for 2.5 years, but I was in a classroom before that. They found me and pulled me right out of I was high school when they found me, but mostly middle school was my career. And we're so excited to see so many of you. So shout out to the educators and everybody else. Jacob, it's nice to see you from NCWS. Thea is
Hi, all.
our executive deputy director.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thea here from beautiful Watertown. Seeing where everyone is from, seeing a lot of familiar names. Shout out to Bob Johnson in Chicago and Marina in Indiana. Love to see you all, and we're excited to get this party started. I'm from Boston, so I get to say those things.
We are so excited to get to share this. So we've told you a little bit about who we are, but we would really love it if you would tell us who you are. We have a poll. If you can tell us what's going on for you, where are you coming from, so that we can make sure that we're covering any information that would be useful. You know, something I'm noticing as people are voting here, Thea, is how many people are from a future city region.
Oh, are they saying
And
another? I can't see that.
there is several people that I have seen that most, I would say, are from at least one future city region. And I am excited to get to share with you more about that. While engineers and technical professionals, you are coming in number one, 42% of you. So thank you for being here with us. Teachers and educators, we appreciate you spending time, everybody spending time out of your busy day. Museum, library staff, college students, shout out college students, university, college faculty or staff, and then a whole bunch of other things. And we're excited to have you all with us. Thank you. If you have never been to anything that Discovery has done before, I just want to share with you really quickly who we are and what we do. We run several programs, such as Engineers Week and Girl Day. That should not be a surprise at this point, hopefully. But we also run the Future City competition, now for middle school and high school. Shout out. I'm just going to park that there because we're going to talk about it later. We also help coordinate the theme for the World Engineering Day, and then Chats with Changemakers, which if you haven't been a part of that, I'm going to talk about that too. In addition to the programs that we run, we also have a whole bunch of other things, like over 170 STEM and engineering activities that are free and easy to use, practical. You can download today and use in your classroom. We have brand new challenge videos. I'm going to share about that. We have a whole bunch of information on engineering careers, what is engineering for parents, for students, for educators, for guidance counselors. We have posters, ads, and artwork, a copyright-free photo library. We're doing outreach grants. We always do them, but they're open right now. Deadline November 4th. I want to say November 4th because last year was November 3rd. So get in, and in all of the emails that you got from us to register for this, there is also a link to the outreach grants, and we will send out more reminders. And then we also do online and self-guided trainings for volunteers and educators about how to do better outreach, engineering outreach. We have reached over 5.5 million students and parents, and we have a coalition of 300,000 volunteers and educators in order to do this. And we're hoping to hit 10 million by 2030. So you participating today are directly going to help us and help all of us. It helps engineering in general as a field. So we're excited for that.
And just one addendum, it's 5.5
Please.
million annually every year, not
I'm
just in
sorry.
our full history. Yeah, no, sorry. But I wanted to make sure everyone knew that that's our annual reach. And we do that through all of you. That's not Sarah and I going out and talking to all 5.5 million kids and parents. So thanks.
No, there's 137 of you in here. So we're counting on you collectively to hit the 5.5. No, we won't put all 5.5 million on you, but helping us out, including, again, I'm going to say Future City, over 70,000 students have already registered for this competition year. We put the E in STEM, engineers put the E in STEM. We've got a sticker that says that now. And we support educators and volunteers to build skills and confidence in supporting engineering and helping students engage with engineering. We're all about increasing interest and knowledge, visibility of engineering and awareness of what engineering is, and to expand the opportunities that exist for people. Amber, you're going to get that sticker. Don't worry. Just as a reminder, in case you haven't participated in eWeek, Engineers Week is a time to celebrate engineers in the fields of engineering, plural, all of those fields. And also, it is also true that we're trying to engage students in engineering this week. And so part of what we're going to talk about today is how we can help you do that better. And if you have ideas on questions and things that you need, we would love to hear it because we are extremely interested in doing that better. And something that happens during Engineers Week is Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day. And we are Girl Day, as we shorthand call it, is a time to focus on engaging girls and those who identify as girls or other marginalized gender in engineering and technology. It is the Thursday of Engineers Week, and we do some pretty amazing things, but you guys do some really amazing things too. So I'm excited to see more about that. So without further ado, let's actually just talk about 2025, shall we? If you have a guess for what the theme is, you should guess now. And while you're doing that, I'm going to change my background to actually show what the theme is. That's what I'm going to do. Did I get it? We did it at the same time, Thea. That was so coordinated.
We didn't even practice that.
Man, I didn't have to count down or anything. Our Engineers Week theme for 2025 is Design Your Future. Those of you who have been participating for a few years, you might see a similar theme. This is our third year of a future-based cycle, and we're super excited for this one in particular, and all of them. And you might notice that some of the art looks similar, but we've introduced a whole plethora of new people and new designs into this. And right off the hop, the other thing that you might notice is a lot of our stuff is in Spanish. So let's talk really quickly about what we have actually right now on the website. Don't go there, pay attention to us, but as soon as this webinar is over, you can go onto the website, onto the downloadable resources page. There are logos, there are ads, quarter page ads that you can download, but also they can be printed poster size. We have all kinds of graphics, including like Instagram size, of a whole variety of different things. We have brand new bookmarks this year. Our bookmarks always have an engineering activity on them, and our new one this year is Timeout. It's available in English and in Spanish. Zoom backgrounds. So I have the Girl Day Spanish one. Thea has the Engineers Week English one, and there are English and Spanish versions of both. We have a motion graphic that is beautiful. We also have sample posts, customizable language. And again, I'm just so excited that we're able to offer most of this stuff in Spanish as well. So other languages, Claudia, I would love to be able to support other languages. That is not something that we're doing this year. We're focused on English and Spanish, but if you reach out to us, I will see about maybe I could get you like a blank version of this, and then you could pop in the language on your own. I'm more than happy to provide some blank versions if that would be helpful. Thea.
The great comment from Jojo saying his school district is
Mm,
on break during engineers week.
mm.
And I'm thinking it's best to complete the following week with students. And Jojo and everybody listening, our dates for engineers week are a guideline. We think engineers week should happen, all year long. Every day is a great day to do engineering. And we really look at engineers week as an opportunity to just say, hey, remind folks to get out there, refresh everything we're doing, reinvigorate ourselves. So the week before, the week after, a month later, 2 months later, right now, any day is a good day to celebrate engineering and engage kids.
I would totally agree with that. Thea, I don't know that everybody knows the lore about why Engineers Week happens in February.
Yeah, so Engineers Week started way back in 1952, and yes, we already have a correct answer. It's Washington's birthday, February 22nd. So if you keep February 22nd in mind, every year we have to have Engineers Week the 22nd has to fall during Engineers Week. So that's just a kind of a nice way to think about, hey, I wonder when Engineers Week 2030 is. You'll be able to figure that out. But you can also come to our website because we have that there too.
Come to our website because we have them listed for the next few years.
Yeah.
In addition to all of the free stuff that you can find on our website, we have new merch this year. So already you can see the new sticker designs that we have. We have the Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day t-shirts, the Engineers Week t-shirts. We have the tumblers for both. And we have a whole suite of new stickers. Support women in engineering, support kids in engineering. Engineers put the E in STEM. Engineering is open to everyone. We also have ones for chats with changemakers that say, I am a changemaker. And we have ones for Future City that say, Future City creates future engineers. So for the next 48 hours, I created this morning. There is a coupon code Kickoff 2025. So it won't be live anymore by the time we send this out later. So write this down, store.discovery.org, and use that coupon. If you want to get a coupon for your order, if you want to get
How
cracking
much
on your orders
off,
right now.
Sarah? What's the coupon good for?
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked me that very relevant question that I totally have right here in front of me and that I'm not rapidly running to. It's 15% off. I was like, did I do
Sorry.
it for 10 or 15? It's
What did
15%
we
off.
do? What did we decide?
What did I decide? So you can go and do that right away. In addition to all of the resources and merch and stickers, they're bulk sticker packs, by the way, they're not individuals. We sell them in bulk and they're so much cheaper, up to 10,000. Lowest pack is 50 and the biggest packs are 10,000. If you want more than 10,000, we're happy to accommodate. In addition to that, Thea has been hard at work overhauling the volunteer planning guides for both eWeek and Girl Day. It is looking so good. Thea, do you want to talk a little bit about the volunteer planning guides?
Sure. So we have a guide for Engineers Week and a guide for Girl Day, and this is good for if your society chapter or your school, you're looking for good ideas and quick links about different things you could do. So Engineers Week, you'll see, is divided up into two panels. One says, do you want to celebrate engineers and technicians, and what are the things you can do? Do you want to engage students in engineering? What are some things? Here's some activities. Sarah's going to talk a lot later on about our new slew of activities and challenge videos that are burning up the internet. We're very excited about it. And then the Girl Day focus is really just like, how do you engage specifically? How do you make engineering open to everyone? How do you engage those students that might not feel open and welcome? There was an alarming study that just came out earlier this fall that said that students as young as 5 have already started to incorporate the notion that girls can't go into STEM, and that it's really a field for boys still. So we have a lot of work to do to make sure that everyone feels welcome in engineering. And these are a great place to start. They're certainly not the end, but a wonderful kind of 2 pages of quick hits for you to use.
And we've thought a lot in the last year about how we can better support the different ways that people engage with Engineers Week and Girl Day. And some of you who have been participating in eWeek for years will know that we always host a kickoff celebration in the fall. And then in January, we host a webinar that's just a countdown. Hey, here's the things that you can do. We're maybe not maybe, we are making some changes actually, because instead of the 1 January, we're splitting into 3 different groups. We are going to be doing 3 different webinars, and the first one will be happening on Giving Tuesday, which is December 3rd. It is around planning events. It is around, if you are the planner for your workplace, your school, your classroom, your library, your makerspace, if you are the one who is planning events, you will want to attend the December 3rd meeting. We have our very own Thea is an expert in how to be a great volunteer and how to make your volunteering time count. So she has a very practical webinar on how to volunteer. And we're super excited to share that on Wednesday, January 22nd at 12 at noon Eastern. And then finally, the third one I'm going to host, and I'm going to be talking about celebrating Engineers Week. So really, I would love to talk with anybody who's responsible for writing emails, doing social media, sharing communications. We want to talk about what are we actually doing to get the word out about celebrating engineering, the messaging that works, and ideas. We're going to have guest speakers to come and share what things they're doing to get the word out. So that could be something in person, it could be something through communications. We're excited. So let's talk a little bit more about what those are. And I'm going to go with mine first because that's the order that we have these in. Uh, uh, when you're celebrating engineers, there's lots of things that you can do, and you definitely should go social, right? That's the world that we live in. So share a photo, share a selfie of yourself, post a message, talk about the most interesting thing that you've done in a STEM field, the most challenging thing, how collaboration and teamwork make your job better. Share an inspiring story about something that you've seen that engineering has made a difference. And also you can use these hashtags. And as always, please tag us in anything you're doing, whether or not it has to do with Engineers Week or Girl Day. If it is around engineering or STEM at all, tag us, because I would love to be promoting more amazing things that are going on, because we know that you guys are doing them. I snoop in and I see the amazing things. So always feel free to tag us at Discovery.org across every social media platform, including TikTok. The other thing that you can be doing to celebrate engineers is just tell people it's Engineers Week. Invite an inspiring special speaker for a lecture or panel to meet your class, to encourage your employees or your members. Organize inter-office competitions. Our STEM, our engineering activities, There's a ton that you could do in your office that are a ton of fun, and just bring that play back this week. Organize or attend Engineers Week lunches or dinners. We know that there's a bunch of them. If you're in Texas, I was just reposting something. The Texas folks have something going on almost every month of the year. So shout out to Texas, but also everywhere. Nominate someone for an award. There's all kinds of professional society awards. So you can do that and then secure a public proclamation from an elected official. Those we have some language on our website on how to do that. And there are a bunch that exist. So if there's already one that exists in your area, tell everybody about that too. And also on the side, that's one of the quarter page ads that you can download right now on the website. So again, that one is going to be Wednesday, January 29th. We're going to invite some communications professionals to come in and talk to us about how are we actually celebrating Engineers Week. Yes, we will be sending everything out after, 100%, 100%. The next one that we're talking about is how to engage students. So this is Thea's around how to be a great volunteer and how to engage students specifically. So I want Thea to take the next few slides and really walk through the core pieces of this.
And this is for engineers, this is for volunteers, this is for educators, this is for anybody who wants to help students build their STEM identity. And what do we mean by that? What are the processes and the pieces that go into that? It's this formula works, right? We know that students with an interest in engineering and a positive attitude towards STEM will, that's step one. If they're not interested, they're not going to do it. Help them see the value and how it aligns with their values and goals. How do we build their confidence in their STEM skills? How do we let them be student-centered learning? Let them be the drivers and we're the facilitators. How do we provide those strong networks of role models of people who are supporting them along the way? And how do we help them feel a sense of belonging? And there was a question in here from, I think it's Karen from Texas, who's saying that they're no longer able to host Girl Day. And do we have any suggestions on how they can navigate this challenge? I think if you think about all of your outreach efforts, then you think about how do you nurture their interest? How do you help them see value? How do you build their confidence? How do you provide those networks and give them a sense of belonging? Whether you label it Girl Day or Engineers Week or whatever, if you keep these at the heart of your programming, you will be engaging all kids and making them all feel welcome to engineering. You can go to the next slide. And we have this, we call this our magic formula, but there's no magic really. It's 3 things you can do, which will allow you to do all of those, check all of those boxes that we just saw. One is sharing positive engineering messages. How we talk about engineering can change what kids think about engineering. Doing hands-on activities with active facilitation. And that do isn't for us adults. That do is for the kids, and we're the facilitators, but we're not the doers in that part. And then supporting interactions with STEM role models. And we're going to go a little bit into each one of these, but the volunteer engaging students in engineering in January, that's going to do a deep dive in these. So next slide, Sarah. From research we've done, messages matter. We know that these are the things that kids are really interested in. Am I going to make money? Is this a well-paid career that I can have? That it's open to them, that they are welcome, they are included, that we want them to be part of the engineering workforce, that it's creative, that it's about teamwork, that it's about making a difference. And I think what was fascinating that we found in this research is most students and most adults don't know that you can have a career in engineering with a high school diploma, with an associate's degree, with a bachelor's degree. There are so many different jobs along the in the engineering field that we have sort of done a disservice by concentrating on becoming that, solely concentrating on becoming an engineer, but we need to kind of expand all of the amazing career opportunities that are open to students, so we can get more people interested. Next slide. So here's where you can download all that research. It's at discovery.org, messages matter. I'm sure Ellen will put that. Oh, Sarah's going to put that in the chat for you.
I am.
And it also carves it up. How do you talk to girls? How do you talk to African-American boys? How do you talk to students who might have a disability? We really did lots of crosstabs and dove deep into the information. So that's all in there. If there's a specific group that you want to talk to and are thinking about, I wonder what would be most interesting to them. How can I align with their values? Next slide. It's doing the hands-on activities and active facilitations. And if you pop to the next slide, really it's thinking about how you pick. There's two things to think about when you're doing hands-on activities. How are you picking those activities and what is your role? And so we really say that it has to be hands-on. Demos are good if fire is involved, but otherwise let the kids do the activity. Don't show them, let them dive in. Is there a purpose? Going back to those messages, right? Is how do we connect it to making the world a better place? How do we connect the activity to larger real world problems and helping kids answer that so what question? So why do I need this? So what am I doing? Does it follow the engineering design process? And can you weave in some of those messages about teamwork, about creativity, about solving problems? Again, this is like the quick 30-second version, but we're going to go way deep in January. And also a lot of this is online at discovery.org/volunteer or discovery.org/teach. Next slide. So your role as a facilitator is to ask leading questions rather than doing. The first question you're going to ask yourself is, have you done the activity? Before you do the activity with kids, you need to do it with yourself. A, because you need to see if there's going to be any adaptations you need for your kids, what all the materials are, what the use is for all the materials, and B, where they're going to get frustrated and where they might start to struggle. And you want to know those things before you start doing it. Questions you can ask is where, why, how, what are you thinking? What is your design idea? Did that work the way you thought it would? What would you like to change? And praise their outcome, their effort. Praise their effort. Really look at what they're doing and talk about what they're doing. Don't just give them an attaboy or good job, because kids, especially if they're frustrated, will see through that and they'll get more frustrated. So it's like, wow, that's not working the way you wanted it to, right? Well, what can we change? What did you learn from that? What's next steps to kind of help them persist and get over it? If you give them false praise, you're helping them give up. So we don't want to do that. All right. So those are just a few very quick things about what your job is as the activity facilitator. Next slide. Which is, where can you find all these activities, Thea? Well, Sarah said we have over 170 activities on our website, and you can filter them for time, discipline, topic area, and age. So, and the other thing about our activities is we really are about access for all. And most of our activities are recycled materials. So you don't have to have a lot of stuff. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You can still dive in. And what I love about the engineering design process is that you can take an activity that's designed for someone in kindergarten and use it all the way up to people in college, because it's about what prior knowledge they're accessing, what engineering design skills they have, and they can keep making bigger and better and more extravagant designs. So go check that out.
Yeah, there was a question that came up in chat that kind of has to do with this also, of how do you identify girls to support? Should they just reach out to middle and high schools?
Oh, no, there's all kinds of organizations. There's Girl Scouts, there's Boys and Girls Clubs, there's Girls Inc. There are high schools, and all of these folks are really, they're excited to have you come into their facilities and participate and be that role model. And we're going to talk about that next. So the next piece of that puzzle is supporting interactions with STEM role models. And next slide. What's fascinating is we keep hearing over and over again from the educators who work with us in classrooms, in after schools, that their students don't have many opportunities to meet an engineering or technical professional. But yet, those same educators and those volunteers said that it's very helpful about students learning about engineering careers, and all of the research we know from ours and everybody else is those role models. That helps kids align with their interest. That helps kids start building those strong support networks and hearing those stories and starting to imagine. And they need to see them over and over and over again, because we see fire people and we see police people and we see teachers, and all these careers you see, but STEM careers are very hidden from children. So how can we make them less hidden? Oh, and JoJo's off to teach. Bye, JoJo. Next slide, Sarah, which I think is just, we have information on how to invite a STEM professional into your after school or your out of school time program or your classroom. And then we also have for you volunteers is how to reach out and visit a classroom and after schools. And it really steps out each piece along the way. But what I really encourage you all to do is look around locally. If you're a volunteer, do you have a school near you? Do you have an after school? Do you have children? Do you have children in your neighborhood? Go and volunteer with those organizations. If you're an after school or a and this is my last piece, Sarah, too, or a a classroom teacher, go reach out to your local university, to your local engineering society, to your local engineering corporation, and say, hey, we would love someone to either come in physically or come in virtually through Zoom. All of those are great options. Again, check out both of those resources.
And let me also shout out two other groups who should definitely do this, with a big shout out to the Howard University Engineering Club. I don't know if anybody here is from there, but they did such a great job this Engineers Week, reaching out and inviting kids to come into the Howard campus and participate. And it was the college students who did it. It wasn't the faculty. And that is so cool to see young adults reach out that way. So really, it's anybody. And as Candy mentioned, Girl Scouts requires robotics badges. So there is definitely a need. Please reach out.
And it's not
And
just Howard.
educators,
Yeah, and it's not just Howard University. We know Engineers Week happens
right?
every college, engineering college campus in
Oh
the
my gosh,
So,
so
if
many.
you have a college that has an engineering department, they are doing, yeah, and Vince asked the National Society of Black Engineers, all of the different engineering
Yeah.
societies, the Society of Indian Engineers, Black Engineers, Hispanic Engineers, Women Engineers, um, all of them have very active outreach, and we know in February they're all geared up to go someplace. So think about how you can reach out to them, and do it now. Do it now, because the
Yeah.
reason is they might already be booked for February. You might get them for March or April, which is fine too. But start
Yes.
reaching out now.
And I want to go back to the other comment of the person who their school is on break during when we have Engineers Week on our stuff. You absolutely can do it. I would do it the week before because kids are a little bit burnt out, teachers are a little burnt out. Spend the week doing engineering activities across grade levels. And there is on our YouTube, if you want examples, both Texas A&M, somebody shouted them out, and also Michelle Warden, a teacher for Chicago Public Schools, shared with us what they're doing for Engineers Week. You can go find that on our YouTube somewhere. It's never too late, Bianca, to reach out to schools for an event. Never too late. Reach out. Reach out.
Yeah,
Because even if you can't do it on the week of Engineers Week, you could do it the next week or the week after. And there is always a need to go in and do this. It's never too late. And it's never too early to start. Start now.
no, no.
if you are, let's say, an educator and you're thinking, oh man, I really wish one of these engineers in this chat would reach out to me and organize something for my classroom. They're going to now. We've convinced them. I'm certain of it. But don't wait. We offer a program called Chats with Changemakers, which a student host, Enrique is our brand new student host. Really, really sweet. I think he's a sophomore, grade 10 from Miami. Uh, Zooms in from his high school and interviews a different engineer or technologist or technician every single month. And 93, more than 93% felt like students are more interested in engineering careers after watching chats. He will ask them all about how did they become an engineer? What was their path? A lot of them didn't start with a 4-year university degree. What do they do? What's challenging about what they do? What's interesting about what they do? And it's really inspirational. You can find past episodes if you're interested in putting a bunch of them on for your class, but also our next one is Thursday, November 14th. So sign up and attend that. It's also, I will just say, we get a lot of engineers, technologists, and technicians, a lot of STEM professionals who also attend the chats because there's something inspiring and rewarding about seeing somebody else talk about the really cool things that they're doing in their career. And so we're starting to see some STEM professionals use it as a little bit of like pep talk once a month. So we would love to have you all. Everything we do is always recorded for later purposes. It is all on our YouTube at YouTube/discover.org. It is all there. I will put a YouTube link in here for sure. Everything we do, you will be able to find everything.
And oh, just one quick
So
shout out about chats.
please,
We're redesigning
please.
that page. So by the end of this year, you'll be able to filter different chats by the discipline they work in. So if you're looking specifically for a mechanical engineer, or you're looking specifically for an engineer from RTX or from NCWS, from some of our different partners and society members. You're like, I want an electrical engineer. You'll be able to do all that filtering and start to see there, because now we have over 35 or 40 different engineers and technical professionals that our different hosts have interviewed. So that's going to be great. And if no one else uses it, I'm going to use it.
And And I also just want to say on our YouTube, the other thing that you'll see if you go and look through the playlists is Thea talked earlier about messages matter and the things that we should be saying, the messages that we know work. We sat down and filmed with a variety of engineers, technicians, and technical professionals, and got their answers. So you can go and see how they talk about it. And then also, if you work with students, you can play those. They're short, they're YouTube shorts. So they're not going to take too much time. So, okay. We gotta keep going. Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time. Okay. I feel like we're almost out of time. I
Yeah.
always feel that way. This Engaging Kids in Engineering, How to Be a Volunteer is Wednesday, January 22nd. The Zoom link will be sent to all registrants. So put that in your calendar. And then the one that we're doing the soonest, Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, is really about planning an event. We want to talk to STEM volunteers, but teachers and after school and out of school libraries, maker spaces, engineering societies, local engineering firms, and massive engineering firms, and everybody in between. There are definitely things that you could be doing, and we are so excited to share with you some things. So some of the things, do activities with students. Please, would you please do some activities with students? We would love that. And they would love that. And I think also your members and your employees would love that. Present about engineering careers. Volunteer as a judge for a science fair or for Future City. We need Future City judges in January at 40 regions, 43 regions around the world, friends, and including essay judges, which is online, and nationals. If you live in the DMV area, we're looking for finals judges. If you live near DC at the end of February, invite students to your workplace or college campus. There was somebody was in here earlier asking, said that Cleveland used to have invite kids to be an engineer for a day. That's so cool. That's the stuff. You guys were all students. You guys all remember those days, the field trips more than some of the stuff that was taught. Um, please invite people, invite teachers and classes and kids. Um, if you are a teacher or an after school leader, if you work with students, you're a scout club leader, you work with students in any kind of way, um, do hands-on engineering activities with your students. We have a whole bunch of guides and activities to do. Invite an engineer to visit. Sometimes they're a little bit shy and they need the invitation. To ask your students what their parents do. And if one of their parents is an engineer, technologist, or technician, get them in to talk about what they do. Form a team. If you teach grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12, form a team and compete in Future City. Competition registration closes October 31st. So you should definitely do it. Nationally, we give away over $65,000 in STEM award money for middle school, and high school winners win $10,000 scholarships each for the winning team. So your kids can definitely participate and do that. Go on a field trip to a museum or local engineering company or university. Shout out to all of the amazing museums, libraries. There's two IMAX movies about engineering that you might want to see, Dream Big and our most recent Cities of the Future, which just came out this last Engineers Week, actually, this year. And they are playing all over. So look those up. Go take your kids to an IMAX and organize an engineering event at your school or after school program. These are in the volunteer guides. So you can download those on our website. If you are a museum or a library, create a display of engineering books. You guys already know that. You guys are professionals. You knew what to do. Host drop-in engineering activity hours, staff activity station, and demos with volunteer engineers. So, maybe it's a library if you're part of a society or an engineering firm, or you just want to volunteer by yourself. Talk to your local library if you're intimidated a little bit by a school, but don't be intimidated by schools. Host a family engineering festival. I would love to see this in school libraries. Invite local organizations to host activity stations. Um, there's so many great children's museums. I can't even name them all. We see everything that you guys are doing, and we're so impressed. It costs money to do some of this stuff, right? You need materials and stuff. Our activities, we really try to focus on low cost materials or free materials, because we want them to be as accessible as possible for all students and volunteers. But if you need some money to run your program, to run your activity, we do outreach grants for both Engineers Week and Girl Day. Our application deadline is November 4th. You can find them at discovery.org/outreach grants. You have to do them between February and April of 2025. And we really are prioritizing and focusing on underrepresented students, marginalized students in any way. So definitely look to that. And grants of between $250 and $1,000 are available. And on the individual pages, you can also see some of the previous winners and what they were doing.
Yeah, and we had a question earlier in the chat asking, asking about how hard this application is and what are winning applications. And we've worked really hard. Pedro on our staff has worked really hard to streamline the application. We're not asking, for your 990 or for, any audited financials, or this isn't a big application. I think there's probably like 6 or 7 questions. So think about what you want to do at your location and what your impact will be. And those are kind of the winning grants. If we understand what you're trying to do and who you're trying to reach, those are folks that we want to support. Sadly, we don't have money to support everyone, but hey, the application shouldn't take you very long to fill out, and we hope that you apply.
Mhm. It's all online, super easy to do. So that planning events webinar is December 3rd. We hope that you will join us. If you're interested in learning more, we're going to have guests who plan events, who plan Engineers Week events, that you can hear from them directly what they're doing and what's working for them, and ask some great questions. I have been talking about Future City a lot, but let me really go into it. At Future City, again, grades 6 to 12, middle school and high school students student teams imagine, design, and physically build cities that exist 100 years in the future. They can be real cities, they can be made up cities. Students are the engineers. This is hands-on. It's easy to use. It's hands-on. It's practical. It's going to engage students who might not be traditionally excited about normal curriculum stuff. They're going to be excited about this. You're going to see kids come alive. And we know because this is the 31st year, and we've seen it affect so many students who have gone on to become engineers. These are educator-led teams that generally will have a mentor. So if you're interested, if you're like, I'm not an educator, but I'm super interested, be a mentor and or be a judge. The deadline is October 31st. It's $25 per organization, not per team for the middle school level. So if you're a scout team that has, or if you're a scouts group that has 3 teams, it's $25, not $75. For the middle school level, volunteers can serve as mentors and judges. Please do. You can find more at futurecity.org, or if you are a high school teacher or a high school person who wants to work with high school students, you will go to highschool.futurecity.org. We're going to do a Q&A now because we've talked about a whole lot. Oh, look at my pacing. I am on time. Ellen has to be so happy. Ellen, shout out to Ellen, our amazing Engineers Weekend Girl Day program manager, who is in the background right now, who normally around this time has to start sending me text messages saying, talk faster, move quicker. We are curious what other questions and answers you have. So please, would you type them into the question space in your control panel? And while you're doing that, I just want to talk about what I think is one of the most exciting things that we've done this year. Future City's been around for 30 years. Chats has been around for, this is, I think, our 6th season. They are well-established and amazing programs that we know are doing great things. This is brand new for us. We have done challenge videos before. We generally had our chats engineers, technologists, and technicians record a challenge video with us. But we've taken 2 amazing young people to a professional studio and gotten them to film and do really high level post production to create a series of 7 challenge videos. And these 2 girls that you see here, this is Miranda, who is a Future City High School. Her and her team won Future City High School last year, our inaugural year of doing it. And the other amazing young person that you see there is Star. They are members of the Million Girls Moonshot flight crew also. So shout out to Million Girls Moonshot. They came with us and they recorded 7 amazing challenge videos that go across a variety of topics and engineering disciplines. And they are all about kind of 5-6 minutes. They are definitely things that you can show in your classroom. I personally just teacher talk, I would do it as like a 3-act. So show the intro and then let your kids start, and then show the middle where they're redesigning and reiterating, and then let your kids practice some more, and then show the ending and their conclusion. But you should absolutely go and use these because they are amazing resources. So you can find these on the engineering activities. They're all across the top. And you can also just filter by video and you will see them there. So that being said, let's see. We've got a couple of questions here. One question, one comment so far, actually, is what I'm seeing. Somebody says, we reach out to K-12 schools and start with faculty connections and then ask them to spread the word. We've hosted up to 200 girls in one event, and they're not even sure what the total is over the years. Absolutely fantastic. Way to go. Thank you for doing that. We're so excited. Could you post a bunch of your previous pictures on any social media and tag @discovery.org? Because I'm always looking for new pictures of amazing events that happen. One question says, we hosted our first Girl Day event last year. Congratulations. We also want to reach out to Black and Brown boys for an event because they are an overlooked population for engineering and tech. Absolutely. And the group that is there where you are, for sure. Would you suggest combining these into one event and having a boy track, girl track, or would you recommend 2 different events? Such a great question.
Such a good question. And I think it might come down to your capacity, and what your individual goals are. There's pros and cons of each track. And I would say if you do end up combining them. I like the idea. You don't necessarily want to say, here's the boy track and here's the girl track. You might want to just integrate them all into one group, but do a lot of training with your volunteers and your educators to make sure that you're thinking about the different learning styles in the room and what the kids need and how you build teams in that setting. So there's a lot to consider whenever you're doing a big event, but I wouldn't necessarily say if you're going to combine those groups to actually then have different tracks for different types of kids. You maybe track them by age and stage, and then think about having a lot of female role models or having a lot of role models from from NSBE or from SHIP if you have a large Hispanic or Latinx community. So or volunteers from ACES if you're in an area with a lot of Indigenous students. So I think you can do a lot, especially in today's climate, where sometimes having events specifically for one audience, if you're in areas where that's under a microscope, you can think about how do you still make it inclusive and still make it welcoming without necessarily labeling it something. So, and if you want to talk more, always happy to help you brainstorm what those events might look like.
Mhm. Please reach out to us. We would love to help. One question that we got in the chat was, how do you identify who needs support? And Thea, a lot of what you said was absolutely relevant. Another thing that I could say is, instead of calling a local specific school, call the school board and ask them which schools would most benefit from outreach. They definitely will be able to help you identify specific schools that might not get the same opportunities as other schools, depending on a whole variety of things, from location. Rural schools, I live way rurally, so our kids always need it out here, but also depending on socioeconomic status, or if you're, oh gosh, there's so many reasons, but the bottom line is all kids need engineering support.
Yeah.
All kids need encouragement. So there's no wrong answer. Reach out to whomever you can reach out to, for sure. Let's see.
I like this question. You
Brilliant.
worry about schools not being able to get funding for
Yeah.
buses with field trip authorization.
Mm.
I don't know who that's from. I don't know if you're an educator in a classroom worried about getting funding. If that's the case, I would reach out to the event hosts and ask them if they have that funding, and reach out to local organizations that might want to support that. A lot of times, there's really overlooked organizations. Banks, your local bank, your local car dealership, your local organizations might do that. But also, if you're an event organizer and you want to host something at your site, at your university, at your place of business, really think about where students are coming from and how you can get them there. And if your budget allows you to provide transportation, that's huge to getting people to come to your event, and often an overlooked expense. We're like, we have t-shirts, we have pizza, we have activities, we have all these giveaways, but no one's coming. Well, they can't come because they can't get there, especially if they're under-resourced. So think about that transportation.
We've had a couple people ask, does Engineers Week only happen in the United States? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It happens yeah. It
No,
happens
go
all
ahead.
over the world, but it's at different times. And there is an Engineers Week in Africa. I think it's in the fall. And different organizations have taken the Engineers Week concept. There's Engineers Week Jamaica, there's Engineers Week Australia, there's Engineers Week Canada, UK, everywhere. We even like to say there's probably Engineers Week activities happening in Antarctica because it's filled with STEM professionals. So, and we actually have a great group of folks doing Future City in Nigeria, in Africa. So you can think about all the different things that you can do locally in your own country.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Engineers Canada. I'm the sole Discovery Canadian up here. So always glad to see when people from all over get to participate. Engineers Week is for everyone. And also just shout out Nigeria. You guys are killing it on social media, talking
Yeah.
about what engineers do all year long. I get notifications all year long. So shout out to all of you. Um, let's see, I'm just going to scroll through to see if there are so many people in chat who have said, hey, I'm in this area and I need an engineer, or hey, I'm an engineer in this area, is there any teachers here? That is so cool. Take a chance to scroll through. And I just want to make sure that we didn't miss anything else. Claudia, I did get your message about a translation. Yes, please email me, sarah@discovere.org, and I would love to do that. Do you have the 2025 schedule for chats to be relayed to your local NSBE chapter? Shout out NSBE. Yes, I think that it did get added, but if you have other questions, you can reach out to us in a whole bunch of different ways. First off, always through social media. We're finding more and more that people are quick to send us a DM, and we're as quick as we can be to get back to you. You can find us at Discovery.org everywhere. Our hashtags for this upcoming year: eWeek 2025, Design Your Future, and Girl Day 2025. If you prefer a more traditional route of connection, info@discover.org. Our amazing program assistant, Pedro, checks that always, and he will forward it or respond to you right away, or he'll forward to one of us that can get better, more concrete answers for you. And you can find everything at discover.org. You can actually also go to discoverengineering.com. I'll just shout that out. One more time, these days that we're doing these events, Giving Tuesday, which is December 3rd this year, Wednesday, January 22nd, and Wednesday, January 29th, all at noon Eastern. Please, 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 we would love to see you for those. And thanks everybody for being here. And we're so excited to kick off this next season with you. Go to, let me see if I can get back to the page really quick. Go to the store. This coupon code is only available for 48 more hours. Where was it? Right there, store.discovery. And shout out because I have seen some orders rock in. So Amy Key did the first order
All
of the
right.
season.
Hi, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Thank you, Thea, for your amazing time, and Ellen for producing for us. Thank you for the Discovery team that we see you on the call. It's so good to have support from such an amazing group. If anybody has any questions, we'll stick around. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Yeah. Bye, all.
These stickers are so cool.
All right.
You're very welcome. Everybody's amazing. I'm
I was
just
going to say, you're all
checking to
doing
make
amazing
sure.
work. Thank you for giving us an hour.
Somebody asked, here, Thea, here's a question for you. What skills are essential for future engineers to develop given advancements in technology? First off, that's definitely something we ask Chats with Changemakers guests. So you can find a whole bunch of those responses. But what do you think of the research and the people you talk to, Thea?
I think
What's
what
essential skills?
what essential skills are the understanding the engineering design process and how to solve problems. They're probably not, everyone's not going to be able to have all the technical skills, for each and every problem, but they can beef up on those technical skills, or they can bring in experts to help them with those technical skills. But really understanding how to identify the problem and how to design a solution and have that iterative design process in mind. We get kids doing that. They can take that skill set to any career and be very successful. So, and good project management, right? So really understanding how what you're doing impacts other people and kind of that monitoring and controlling. Yeah, the engineering design process and project management, I think, can really set kids up successfully for life, personally and
And can
professionally.
you think of any programs where a
Oh,
student might
maybe
get
be interested in
hands-on?
your engineers. All of our activities are around the engineering design process and project management skills. So take a look and find one that works for you, or two or three or five. All
Yeah.
right.
Bookmarks are available on the download resources page. Let me just go grab that. Let me get the link to those. Barbara, give me just a second here. They are, if you scroll, they're almost all the way down, and they're called timeout if you want to control F. They're called timeout in both English and in Spanish. They're on the downloadable resources page. Let me put the link in chat.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thanks everybody for being here.
day. Take care.